Hello everyone and welcome to our second Stirling Saints Football Club podcast from the House of the Holy. It's your insider look into players and people who make our humble sporting club. I am your host, Damon Eaton, and with me once again is my reliable co-host. I won't do the big intro like I did last time. He's too decorated for that. Daniel Tilby. Tills, how you going, mate?
Good day, mate. How are you, mate?
I'm doing very, very well. A new format this week, mate. Unlike we went in the President's Room last week with Corfs, we've got a different format, mate. How are we communicating tonight?
Each of us got a phone, and you've done some magic behind the there, and seems to be working so far. So, yeah.
That's right.
I don't know how you did it, Damo, but you've done it again.
It's pretty simple, Tills. Google.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently every phone has its capabilities. You can actually conference. I'm sure you probably do more than 3 as well. You could probably do more than that. But did a real trial basis with you and my wife this morning, or at midday while you were at work. And
got to speak to the lovely Donna.
Yes, that's right. Hi, Donna. I don't know. She might listen to this later on. She probably thinks it's just yet another of my another one of my stupid projects.
That's right.
So we'll move on. We'll actually introduce our next guest, our very special guest today for tonight's podcast is, I won't too much talk about his history with the club because that's obviously what the podcast is about. But I will say that I've both played and coached alongside him. He's impressive. He's passionate about his footy, and he was pretty much nominated by Corfs by last week. I thought it was a natural fit. Say hello to Gerrad Prockter. G, welcome aboard, mate.
Hey guys, how you going? Yeah, G, nice to see you. Nice to be talking to you, actually, mate. Yeah, I was going to say to you, you're not seeing me at the moment. Yeah, no, that's right. I'm looking at your photo. I've got it up on the wall.
Busy. Yeah, no, all too busy. We're doing conference calls now. I've even got me. I've plugged in my little PlayStation headset, and I'm full kitted out, boys. I'm ready to go. I'm taking it super serious.
I'll tell you what, G, you're more technically advanced than us at this end. I'll tell you that. I'm sitting in the shed with a beer in hand. So.
Still even ruined the intro. I don't know. Was that even a sentence, Billy?
No, it wasn't really. About something out there.
G,
good to be here.
Yeah, okay, well, it's great to have you. And we've still sort of feeling our way through this format, how we're doing with this podcasting. I think this is a good format. We'll do this is Tuesday night. It's after training, and we're going to post this hopefully by Thursday. So it's those guys who are going to training on a Thursday or coming home for it. It's drive time radio, which I'm thinking we've got some good feedback over the last podcast. So I think this might be the way to go. We might be doing the conference, so it won't interrupt with the Thursday events, which is what we had last week. But anyway, G, having said that, you had training tonight. How was training tonight?
Training was actually not bad, mate. A lot more numbers than usual Tuesday. Still not enough in my book, but I'm pretty hard to please. But it was not bad, and I've got a couple of new guys down there tonight. Mason and Leon, his mate's name is. They're from, I work with Mason, and they're from Secret Harbour. They've got a transfer, so they should hopefully be able to play this week and boost the numbers in the Resies to actually give us a full side. So that'll be good. And their skills are looking not bad too for people that haven't played. Excellent.
All right. So around about ballpark figure for training tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Not bad. I would say, I don't know, what's ballpark game over these days, you know? Like, honestly, what's ballpark? 20?
Yeah, low 20s, low to mid 20s, I reckon, too.
I reckon we had 20. I don't know, I reckon. Enough to do some good drills, you know?
Yeah, well, good. Was it a longer session?
Can't complain about.
Yeah, longer session tonight. I mean, I haven't been to a Tuesday training for years, literally. So, was it a longer session tonight? Around about what time did you finish up?
Well, what's the time now? Let me check.
It's about 8:30.
I keep no track of it. 8:30. Yeah. I reckon it was about. It's probably an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, King had called us in, and I thought that was it, and then he sent us out to do another drill, which was a stitch up, but. Yeah, no, it was all right. It was a super drill, one of my favourites. So it was good.
There was a rare sighting there of Seamus Thunder, G. Did you have anything to do with that?
100%. I was hosing him at work and said, Shay, you need to come down for a run. No one's going to expect you to play. And he tried to get out of it by, he tried to weasel his way out of it by saying he had something to do with the missus or something. And then, which is, I just called bullshit straight away. And then his missus said, no, that's not tonight or something. Don't quote me word for word, but he's a dog. got him down. He come down with his safe head and everything.
Well done, G. It was a pleasure to see him. Massive fan of the Shea man. Good to see those guys.
Players, yeah.
Well, anyway, let's move on about this, G. Let's see. Look, obviously we know if anyone who's been at the club for the last couple of years know who you are, and as you said before, you're a person who's pretty hard to please. I mean, you're a person who wears your heart on the sleeve. So here's an opportunity. Can you tell us what is your history with the club, right from the word what brought you down to the club to start off with?
Okay, we'll go with what brought me down is Warwick Senior High School. I went to played footy there with JB John Batten.
Yep.
And basically was playing juniors for Warwick Greenwood. Won the 17 premiers, get around us. But he basically said, like, are you guys playing footy next year? And I just started, I just said, I don't have a clue, mate. I don't know where to play. And he just said, well, Stirling's the go, and that's just where I went. And it started from there as a Colt in A grade, which was pretty, the step up was pretty intense. I remember getting belted every week, but that was all right because, you know, you made friends and stuff.
Yep.
I stayed, I don't know, you're asking the wrong person. I reckon I played Colts up until I was a resi. I was 20, how old was I? How old am I now? I'm getting old. 20, I reckon I would have stopped playing footy at 22. Right. End of the season in 20, I was 22 years old, so I stayed there for a few years and then stopped playing for a bit, and then I came back 2016, I think.
So this is
2016. Yeah, that would be about
maybe the first year Mirror coach stuff was when I came back.
Yeah, because I do.
2016, and you actually ended up first and best in that year. Is that right, G?
Yeah, by an outstanding amount of votes.
Humility.
It was a good year. It was a fun year for me.
Yeah,
I think we did finish ninth that year on the resi, so it wasn't bottom of the ladder.
No, not bottom of the ladder. When it got first, you know, so you got personal accolades when you finish ninth. So who cares?
That's right, absolutely. Now, can I interrupt there, G? Both Damo and I have had some input over the years in coaching, and how would you like to thank us personally?
How would I like to thank you, Kelly?
You have gone from strength to strength, G. You've gone from first and best with us. Scotty Anderson was the captain of that year, and then the following year you took over the reins as the captain.
Snagged it off.
You and Ando still frosty about that?
You know what? I reckon Ando's less frosty about it. I reckon he was actually relieved to give up the captaincy, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really hard to gauge his emotions.
Yeah, he's a bit of a monotone kind of guy, Ando, but he's you can't not have Ando at the club. He's the best. But he just, you know, he's just Ando. You know, his pre-game speeches were rat shit. He's a good captain, but he's not. You know what I mean? When the boys need a G up, you don't turn to Ando. Do you know what I mean? I had to keep interjecting here and there, even when I wasn't captain. You know, because you can't send the boys out like that.
Scratching their heads.
But God, how would I like to thank you guys? I don't know. You guys are the same as Ando. You can't not have Stirling without you two. You know what I mean? You're always encouraging, and you're always, you know, patting everyone on the back and taking initiatives such as this one, the podcast. And Damo, you've also on Thursday nights and Phil, you've also put in heaps of work this year. So,
okay.
For me, it's more so off the field as well.
All right, I'm gonna look before we have a complete circle jerk around here, because this look, we have to pull it. Let's not make it about you and me, Tills, here, mate. As much our listeners are going to get a general theme after about a couple of episodes. Geez, this is not really about anyone else but Damo and Tills. Yeah, nice leading of the question, Tills. Nothing to do with that, listeners. Just want to let you know. But it's interesting you made that about captaincy and so forth, about what makes a good captain. I mean, I've got a two-part question for you. I mean, you've obviously played under captains, and being a captain, I mean, the two questions. Part one, What makes a good captain? What are the ingredients that makes a good captain? I think you've already touched on it, but could you define maybe the top 3 things that you definitely need for a captain to be effective? And the second question I have is, who have you played under, who has captained, that you've played under that you would rate as being like a model captain to watch?
Okay, top three things to be a captain. Let's go. Commitment, I think, is in the top 3. These are not in any particular order.
Yep.
Commitment, that's to training, to the boys, to the club, and to everything that's asked here. What else? Commitment. You got to have some. Leadership is obviously an obvious one.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
What does leadership look like? How do you demonstrate leadership?
Leadership, just going back to Ando, he wasn't the greatest speaker, but I think that's why he got chosen as captain so many years, because he just turned up day in and day out, put his head down and did the job.
Mm.
Ando will tell you himself he's not the greatest player. I'm not the greatest player. I don't have the greatest skills, but if you put your head down, people notice at the club, regardless of your skill level. And I think that was a great quality about him, and I'm trying to follow in his footsteps.
Fair enough.
Another one, I don't know, I'll come back to that. As far as captains that I've played under.
Or even if you've seen, like, for example, they've been a part of a different side at the club that you've said, yep. Or even just on the training track, a guy who just sort of has what you think would be the model, a lot of the things that are right about what a captain should be.
Oh, easy one. The captain that got named this year for League Fraggers, he is the man when it comes to that. He is everything that you look at captain is Fraggers. He is hard working. He's what? How old is he? 30 odd, and he's still fitter than me. He puts his head down, works his ass off, and he's not afraid to say things. To give people the hard word. And it doesn't come... When I was younger, actually, sorry to ramble on.
No, this is what it's about.
No, please do.
Okay, when I was younger, actually, when I was a colt and younger, a bit more immature and just a bit more of a dickhead, Fraggers used to brush me up the wrong way. I was still mates with Fraggers, but I used to think, who is this dude? Saying that to me at the back of the cone and getting into me. But then once I got older, as I come back to the club, I've actually realised that Fraggers does that to get the best out of people, and he expected more of me. He expected more of me as a player and more of me as a person, and I thank him for that. And I've told him that. I think I've told him that. Well, now he knows if he listens to this. If he's one of our listeners.
There's many of them out there, G.
Yeah, it's our second podcast. We could go either way, from increase or decrease in numbers.
Broadcasting nationwide, eh?
That's right.
Yeah. So Fraggers was touched upon last week as well by saying, his age is a question as well. Obviously, it comes up, but do you have to be an older guy? The term veteran. Comes up, but do you have to be? And I know this is one thing too. Some guys, when you're in that middle, sort of your early to mid 20 range, when the call does go out for leadership, and they say, well, we need someone to step up, on and off the field and take that. Is it hard? Do you feel as if, well, I shouldn't be able to step foot? I will be told when to be captain, because if I do it, I know I did, and by no means did I think myself as any part of a leading player, but I thought, well, leadership needs to come from everyone, but I felt as if I couldn't do it because I didn't feel as if I was seen as a person who had potential of being leadership. How do you know that?
I think you just take it. You just take it on board. I don't know. You just sort of gauge. Like when I became captain, I guess. I don't know. I just sort of the boys needed a leader, I wanted to be that.
Did it take for someone to tell you? They're saying, look, we want you to help us out with the leadership. Could you put in a word in? Or is it just saying you're probably going to be nominated for captain? How do you feel about it? Did it have to be you getting in the official title for you to take leadership, to start thinking along those lines?
No, I could have not been captain for the rest of my playing time at Stirling, and I'd still probably be one of the most vocal at the back of the cones and on the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's more leaders in our team than people give themselves credit for, and if they just spoke up a bit, they might realise that no one's going to bite their head off and everyone will, respect their opinion.
Would you be brave enough to name anyone right now of those people that fit that category?
I would like to see boys like Dennis, Korf, step up because they are a couple of the mainstays at the club. They come to training all the time and they try their hardest.
Yeah.
In the younger crew, I honestly think that if Lingy, right, stay with me, if Lingy keeps his head down, keeps training, he will become a future leader of this club. I can see it. I don't know when, but he will eventually find his voice, and I reckon I see something in him. I see something in Lingy because he gets hosed a lot at training, and it's probably by me the most. I hose everyone, but if he fucks up a kick, I just get on him.
Yeah.
And he cops it, and I appreciate it. He's good, Lingy. I reckon he's a future leader if he wants to take that role. He doesn't have to be he can be a leader now to the young boys.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, sometimes it might be just getting a word to some of his mates and bringing blokes down to the club. That's just an example of leadership right there.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll move on to other parts. I mean, so far, let's talk a bit about you again. Let's go into highlights. What have been your highlights of this club, playing or otherwise? And the other part is what goals, what do you still want to achieve at this club?
Playing highlights for me or otherwise, winning, coming back to the club after my 3 years off and doing as well as I did was unexpected. Winning best and fairest for me was probably the biggest highlight for me. Only because, I've been playing revies up until that time and we hadn't really had a lot of success.
Yeah.
So for me, that was huge because I've gone through, since under nines, not being even in the conversation for things like that. And so that came out of nowhere. Also, a playing highlight for me, with the Resi's boys, I think it was 2 years ago when we were playing, what division were we in, B or C, where we played against Kingsley?
Yeah, it would have been
B
Kingsley.
grade. Yeah. C1?
C1,
Probably, C1. All right. Okay, the Resi's boys were getting pumped every week. For me, this was one of the biggest playing highlights with that group of boys. And we went out there and started the bounce. Everyone was expecting for us to get pumped, and we come in at half time, I think, 3 points up or 3 points down. It was really tight, and that feeling of the boys coming together, I actually got goosebumps from it, as gay as that sounds. There was something about that moment that I was just like, fucking hell, boys, this is how we can play, and this is what we can do, this is what we're capable of if everyone believes. We went on to probably get pumped in that game, but you know what I mean? That feeling, that was the first time that the boys looked at each other with that real, holy shit, we're right in this, and that was another highlight for me for sure.
That's that spirit of just the spirit of competition of anything that can be winnable. I think does that sort of come out in you and say, right, any moment, any potential, any situation, we can win something here. We can get some sort of victory out of it.
Yeah, for sure. I always believe, no matter what team you have on paper or how good or bad you think you are, or the opposition thinks you are, or anyone thinks you are, they have people on the field. You have people on the field. Anything can happen. I truly believe that. If you give your hardest, you don't know what can happen.
Cool. All right. Well, what about this? Sorry, Tils. We'll move on to the fun stuff soon in a moment. What do you still want to achieve at this club?
Oh, sorry.
Don't apologise.
I want to achieve a premiership, and I want to achieve it this year.
Yep.
And I think our league team can go all the way, and I think we can win a premiership for the club, get back into B grade, and give fraggers a flag. I would love to do that. That would be the ultimate. Yeah. But obviously, the ultimate goal is to win flags.
Well, that's it.
That's what we play for. that's what I play for.
Yep. Not just to be there, but to actually go out and win.
Yep.
Fair enough. All right.
Before we move on there, Dan, obviously, you do play with a lot of passion and a really big comeback when you get to the club. What do you put down that success that you had personally and the ability to move on to become a leader there? Was it a lot of discipline or was it hard work?
The biggest thing that I guess set that up was off-field choices, off-field lifestyle change. The main reason I left the club to begin with was because of my lifestyle choices. Off the field, I was just going hard with anything you could think of, and I wasn't in a good way. And my commitment to the club wasn't enough, and I had to step away from the club for a few years, and I guess sort of get it out of my system, which I did. And I pulled my head in, and I think it was on my 25th birthday, Tills, that I looked at myself and I went, this is fucking enough. You're going to have to do something. And now, and since that day, I have worked my hardest to I guess, be the player I know I can be, and get to training, because I never used to train when I was younger. I remember even when I was a Colt and the Reddies, when King was coaching us back in the day, people would say, "Oh, mate, you can play league if you only trained," and I just didn't give a shit back then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
You do know. Yeah, so that's the main thing for me. Off-field choices and overall discipline.
Discipline and you did come back as a different sort of character. One that guys certainly look up to these days.
Thanks, mate.
But you're a fun kid as well.
Young man, Tills, not a kid.
You're not all business. Yeah, well, you are a young man now.
I know. Oh, man, isn't that gross? I still don't get used to being called a man yet. I'm still not used to it. What age do you get used to it, boys?
I don't know. I haven't grown up yet.
Wrong people to ask.
100%. Like if I'm at the shop or whatever, and there's a little kid with her bum, and she's, "Oh, watch out for the man," and I'm like, "Oh, where?" And I'm like, "Fuck, that's fucking me." Like, she's talking about me. That sucks. You know what I mean? I'm still not used to it, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I am. I'm 28 this year. Fucking hell.
Yeah. All right. Well, G, let's move on. It's a beautiful little segue there. Let's start off with a bit of player association stuff. I'm going to throw a few things at you. Tills, feel free to do the same as well, if anything comes off the top of your head. Some of it will be recycled from last week, but I thought the best way to start off with, who is the biggest kid at our club?
The biggest kid at our club. Biggest kid.
Yeah.
Mate, we've got a few. We've got a few kids. The biggest kid. Someone that just fucks around. I'm going to say, I can't look. Dennis is up in the combo, but he's also super serious, like super, adulty at times. Matty C loves a laugh. Matty C.
Yeah.
But he's also super good. The biggest kid. It's so hard. If I saw a list of players, I'd be able to pick him out. I'm just trying to think of players.
Can I just put in a thing for Matty C? Look, I reckon you're probably close for Matty C. Like this. Let me give you the story. After trainings last year, I remember going to the change rooms and going to have a shower, and there's a few boys have got ink, a few tattooed, yourself included. Gee, you got tats as well. You like your tats, but I could see some of varying quality, shall I say. Matty C's got a few unusual tats, hasn't he?
Oh, mate. He has a collection of the shittest tats. Actually, no, all right, it's Matty C, because he just doesn't care. Like, he loves his footy and he cares about his footy, but come off field, he's one of the funnest blokes to be around. I'm going to say Matty C. His tattoo, but you're right. Look, I can't remember them all, but they're just shit. I mean, a little story from the other week. Him and Dennis played AFL Live for about 9 hours straight. They played a full season of it on PlayStation.
Wow.
They picked full season from start to finish, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say they're having a bender on the AFL. And, they won the flag with the Hawks, and they called their team the Hawthorn Hoikers, and they were genuinely considering getting a tattoo of it. They were going to get a tattoo. He probably still will get a tattoo of the Hawthorn Hoikers. That is myth.
Because he's done a few on himself, hasn't he? He's got his own ink gun, and he's actually like a few nights on the Terps. And this is one, like I said, I was walking to the showers. I thought, that looks as if you've done it yourself. And he said, "Yep."
I don't know if I'd be game enough.
No, but well.
There's a couple of boys with a couple of home jobs. Who else? Kells has a little one on his leg, which is rat fit.
Oh yeah.
Little, almost looks like a little bad boy, little logo.
Kel's the bad boy.
Yeah, but let's go with Matty T for that question.
All right, Tills, you got a couple for him?
I'm just picturing. I know which one Matty C's got. It's hilarious. All right, gee. Predominantly you play sort of all over the shop. What would be your preferred position out there? And who would you like to be playing alongside with?
Preferred position is, I'd have to go in the midfield, whether it be on the wing or on the ball. I really enjoyed my time on the ball for the Rezzies. Before I came back, I just assumed I was going to come back and be slotted in the back line straight away, because that's where I played all my life footy until, I think it might have been Tony Smith.
Ah.
I think he might have even been the one that said, "No, mate, you're playing in the middle," which I'm super grateful for. And I slowly started to learn the middle and love it. I'm still learning, but I'd have to be on the midfield. I'm actually enjoying my time on the wing with the league at the moment. We've got some absolute jets on the ball, so I'd be hard pressed to push a Marlin or someone onto the team.
Yeah.
Who would I like to be playing alongside with?
Anybody.
Anyone.
Anyone.
100% Shay. 100% Shay. Not only because he's my best mate, but he has my back and everyone's back on his team more than anyone I've ever seen. Not only is he hard, he's hard at the footy. He'll shepherd, he'll drill people, he'll do whatever it takes to win. Yeah. And he's a bit like me, but maybe a little bit more hard on his sleeve sometimes.
Yeah. I've actually felt the brunt of a slight Shay berating as well once upon a time. Yeah.
Oh, he loves it. He loves hosing people on the sideline, for sure. Yeah. He's calmed down a bit. I think with each kid he's had, he's calmed down.
So he's only semi-docile at the moment.
Yeah, he's on his third kid, so he's about mid-tempo. Maybe another one he'll calm down.
Well, we don't want him to lose his edge, though.
No. I don't think he has.
He's already losing his edge, mate. He's lost it. Have you seen his hair?
I'm with you, Shay.
Hey, he looked good tonight.
Yeah, all right.
My eyesight's a shot, though, mate. So.
Shay, 100%. Shay, the Edwards brothers.
Yep.
I used to enjoy playing with Age, Mercedes.
Oh, yeah, Age, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another like, not the tallest guy ever, but another hard-nosed player that I really enjoyed playing with, and would have you back, but also would, hose you at the same time, which is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Those boys, because they're the type of guys that'll go in, smash a few people, get the footy and dish it out to you, where I just, can look pretty on the outside and receive the handball and maybe fuck the kick up.
All right, Jake. So hypothetical situations. We've got two of them for you. This one we're going to repeat every game, unless it gets too redundant and we get the same answer every time. But let's just say it's grand final, and we've got a free kick from 40 metres out, dead in front. Kick will win the game, win the grand final, win the flag. Who would take the kick? Or who should take the kick to win?
Out of any person that has ever played for Stirling.
Anyone out of the current or in the past who have played for Stirling or any formation of the club, in any side, who do you think would be the most reliable to snare the grand final?
I'm going to throw it back. Now, everyone's probably expecting me to say Lloydie.
Yeah.
But, fuck Lloydie. He gets too much talk. Lloydie's a gem. I like Lloydie. I'd go Lloydie, but I'm also going to throw in one from a few years back, Kirsch.
Yeah. I just thought of Kirsch.
I he used to kick bags. Time I watched him, and no matter where he was, for a small guy, he used to slot him. His kicking action was wicked, and I'm gonna go him.
Yep, I agree. But did he have much? Did he have a bit of power to his kick too? I mean, it wasn't just all snaps and just being in the right place, right time. He could beat a fair ball, couldn't he?
100%. Like I used to watch him as a Colt in set shots, and he just one of those guys, kind of like Lloydie, that when they mark it anywhere within the 50, you pretty much say, all right, boys, let's go set up for this centre bounce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are screaming at you to set up the zone, and you're just like, Matt, Lloydie's got it. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll go to the next one, mate. We're going to throw it through because we are wheeling out of time a little bit, and I don't want to push you out, but this has been very good talk to you. It's been one of the better episodes out of all the episodes we've done so far. Let me put it that way.
It's not actually Corf, let's be honest.
Yeah, Corf's your shit. No, I'm only kidding. Only a little bit. Okay, now your retirement match. I know it's a long way away. If you had anyone to cheer you off the ground, which two blokes would you have cheering you off?
I'm going to go back to him, Shay. Had to be Shay.
Yep.
Has to be. Shay and someone like Paulio, I reckon. Paulio O'Neill. Went to school with him, friends with him for ages, and yeah, he's probably Paul and Shay for sure.
Good one.
Yep.
How many games are you currently on right now, G? I mean, just thinking about milestones and so forth.
Look,
I mean, you'd be
not far off. I'm not counting, but I'm on 97.
okay.
Yeah, so round 5 is my 100th. I've worked it out, and it's a home game. So if you're listening, Corf and Wendy, I want a cocktail named after me that round here.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, Dennis Bettles and Wendy are getting a cocktail every home game. Actually got a hand in that too, G. So I've been sending through some cocktail lists and ingredients to help them out. But as far as the naming's concerned, it's totally up to them.
Okay. What about just throw a cocktail in there for me with gin in it. I'm 28 now. I'm mature. So.
You did have a gin on Saturday evening after another win there, G.
Yes.
So
I know.
I've been looking at gin-based cocktails, mate. So,
oh my God.
We've got something that's going to be right up your alley, I reckon.
Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. I'll be all for it.
You might be in some stiff competition too, because I believe it might coincide with a certain other senior player who has his 200th on almost the same game. You might be clashing there.
Oh, can you name names? Who is it?
That'd be Molly.
Oh, Molly. Mate, Molly's the type of guy that'll take a back seat and just be like, gee, you can have your cocktail, brother.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
No, but 200 games supersedes 100, so Molly can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, G, we can have a variety of cocktails of the round on special occasions. So,
that's it, yeah.
You know,
or just combine the names. It'll be a Molly and G cocktail.
Oh,
a G&M instead of a G&T.
G&M, yeah. There's a few coming. There's actually, let's see, who else has got a couple of milestones? Oh no, this weekend, if Ricky King comes back, that's his 50th for the young fella. Ricky, 50 games.
I think he's waiting for Phil Anakin's red card suspension to run out until he comes back, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, he's only a couple of weeks away.
That's true.
Round 4. So he should be back round 5, hopefully.
Yeah.
Ricky King.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, more players coming back to the Rezzies. It's
definitely.
A bit of pressure on numbers than that. So a few more this evening that came down. So it's I
was keen to boost on for Rezzies on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's hard out there.
We've had a few league players who said the same thing, who've have played Rezzies and been tempered by the fires of defeat through Rezzies and said feel that sense of, you know, commitment. Like, I can't just leave Rezzies behind. I will play back up and play 2 games. I mean, Kells has said it. I mean, I know Corfs has said it. You've said it, and it has happened in the past. I mean, it's not something we'd want to do in Rezzies, but obviously it's a good sign of the sense of camaraderie in the club to have people willing to put their hand up and say, if you need me, put me on.
For sure. Rezzies is league and league is Rezzies. We're all one team, you know what I mean? No matter where you get named, even if you don't get named or even if you're injured, you're still Stirling. We're still Stirling Saints. Stirling Saints. So, you know, whatever's needed of you, you put your hand up and you should do it. We're all one.
Yeah, that's right.
really good sentiment there, young G.
Yeah. We'll wrap up. We'll just say, who are we playing this weekend? It's a home match. Tills, this will be our third round 3.
Melville.
Yeah. Melville. Okay. I've got a couple of guys I know from Melville who'll be playing. So, home match.
Actually, two winnable games as well. Reggie's be looking for their first of the season. Melville are yet to win a game themselves.
Yeah.
Home game, we're always going to fare a bit better, I dare say, than an away match. And the undefeated league guys.
3 in a row. Come on.
3 in a row. Yeah.
Come on, let's do it. Yeah, they call that a winning streak, folks. That's what they call it.
3-0. I reckon we can get it done too.
Yeah, we can get it done. Well, it's going to be exciting. G, thank you very much for coming in, mate. We'll wrap things up right about now. We'll do a couple of plugs. Thank you very much. How's your experience on the podcast?
Fantastic, boys. I'd love to do it again later on in the year if you've got no one else. I'd get involved.
Well, mate, we'll wait and see. It's good to know for you to do that, mate. Anything, plug yourself. We usually plug our sponsors, but what do you do for a crust, mate? There's a chance for you to plug what you do, business-wise or anything like that before we sign off. We'll do a couple of plugs. You start.
Oh Christ, I work for Toyota, so I don't know, they don't really need a plug, do they? Well, Johnny plugged his 3JS last week, which is all for it. He works for them, his company, but no, I just work for the company, unfortunately. Work for the man.
Work for the man.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, well, good. Excellent. That's all you got to do. Is anything from you?
No, just put the shout out there for anyone who's got some free time this Saturday. Any supporters and members.
Volunteers.
Get down, watch the boys. Might be a bit wet, but more the merrier, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Boys, just before I go, can I like Johnny did last week, can I recommend the next guest?
Oh, absolutely. If you want to, by all means. Who do you recommend?
Maddie C.
Maddie C. And he might have a right to reply for some of the comments that have come on before about his tattoo choices. Why not?
Oh, for sure. He might even show you in person.
Thank God this is radio. Yeah, look, G, a very good choice. We'll give him a call with this new format of teleconference. I prefer to do it face-to-face, but we'll see how this goes, how well this is received. And I'll put a text out. Maddie, if you hear this, you just have to put it in the comments below. And same with any of our listeners. If you have any other suggestions, any questions you want to ask about any of our people out here, put in the comments below. We read them. I certainly do. And we're making you get that interactive being part of our podcast from the House of the Holy. All right. G, once again, thank you very much.
Thanks, boys.
No worries. Thanks, G.
Tills, once again, thank you very much.
Yeah, mate.
No worries. And just before we wrap up, I'll just let everyone know, Thursday night events, poker was scheduled for this Thursday. It's going to be a bye. I'm going to be out of town unless someone wants to take the mantle and take it. I don't have to be present. Go for it. But if not, we'll postpone it to next Thursday. And then the following Thursday, it's Minute to Win It. And we're going to be playing for a couple of prizes there. So it'll be just like the putt-putt. There will be a highlights package as per the putt-putt. So if that's not an incentive, if you want to feature on that, stay around. And then we'll see if we can do a second round of the pool comp. Also, social calendar, that's coming up soon, guys. I've just finalised that for starting round 10. I won't go through the whole rigmarole, but there are basically 8 social events for this year. So they will be on the Facebook page, so make sure you check that. And, of course, just to echo what Tills has said, guys, come down and watch the matches. Come down and be a part of your club. It is your club, so if you haven't been there for a while, it's about time you came down and had a look at it, see what we're doing around there. Things are moving and shaking around there as far as renovations, and it's just good to have faces around there. So, till then, this is Damon Eaton, this is Daniel Tilby, this is from the House of the Holy. You have yourselves a good weekend, and come on the Saints.